Some people wouldn't really understand when I tell them my background, how I came from being around a lot of crime and people in my family abusing drugs, and that makes children grow up faster than they need to because they're worried about things that aren't in their control. And I was one of those kids. Well, my dad, he's been abusing heroin for over 2 decades. But he was a good dad, but I don't think he was a good man for my mom. They still did the best they could with trying to expose me to as much as possible. They still did things differently, which, created me. It was vice lords and it was Latin kings, and my family was on the vice lord side of the gang, and I knew my territory and I knew who to speak to and who not to speak to. My grandmother lived next door to us in Wicker Park, so I grew up in 2 homes. It was a safe haven, but it was also chaotic because my grandmother has been suffering from being a paranoid schizophrenic. She would pour water and light fires and pour water and light fires, and I guess it went too far and the house burned down. We ended up moving to Austin. That was just a big shock. I saw people on the train snorting drugs sitting right next to me. I've seen people watch people, a crowd of people, watch someone get beat up in the street. People want to be entertained. It's not somebody's life. So I always kind of walk through the alleys and try to be, out of harm's way, or I didn't want anybody to see me. I just didn't want to know anyone, because knowing the more people you know, I feel like the more enemies you create. For years, people didn't know that I lived there. Everybody's an opponent instead of just the casual, person passing you by. I still felt like something was missing. I feel like when I got pregnant, that's when people could actually see my defeat. Not because I was pregnant, but I felt defeated because I knew I couldn't do it by myself because I wasn't an adult yet. I was only 17. I heard about Europe from my grandfather, and I went through the application process, and a few weeks later, I was accepted. The hard skills I learned were IT focused, and the soft skills were communication and people focused. But it's the soft skills that I valued more. Europe provided a pipeline that I thought I'd never have access to. Year Up picked me to intern at UBS. I get to travel the world, I always say, at my desk. I talk to people from Switzerland, other countries in Europe, Asia, and the Americas. I've been at UBS for over a year, and I was offered a full-time fellowship. School now is pretty good. I go to City Colleges of Chicago. I plan to transfer to UIC and go to their business college. I'm raising a really respectable young girl, and I try to let her be a kid. Is everything that I wanted, I try to give her, and I know she's going to want things, and she probably does, and I want her to express that. But everything that I yearned for as a kid, I try to give to her. I don't let her see all the problems that mommy goes through, because a kid wants to protect their parent and she can't do anything about it but be a kid. I want my daughter to be able to play without fearing a bullet. I'm most proud of the woman that I'm becoming. a lot of doors have opened up for me, and I'm starting to let go of a lot of those burdens that I should have left or that shouldn't have ever been mine. We have a city full of fighters. There's so many people that I know, including myself, who could have given up and didn't. So I learned that I'm a fighter, and I'm going to fight until I can't fight.